Hi guys, it's Carmen James here again, and welcome to this fifth and final segment in our Follow Your Gut series. Now we've been talking all about gut health, and I have one last interesting gut health fact for you. Did you know that overgrowth of bad gut bugs can trigger sugar cravings? And overgrowth of yeast can actually cause you to crave sugar. So perhaps your sugar cravings are not your fault after all. Over the past few days, we've been talking about the 5 things that you can do immediately to improve your gut health. We spoke about increasing your water intake. We spoke about managing your stress levels. We spoke about prebiotic and probiotic foods. And yesterday we spoke about exercise, and we mentioned that the 2 types of exercise that are particularly helpful for gut health are yoga and aerobic exercise. Now today, we're going to be talking about our last tip, which is to limit processed foods in the diet. Foods that are highly processed are often high in sugar, fat, and salt. And as we've mentioned already, sugar is one of the things that actually feeds the bad gut bugs. The other thing about highly processed foods is that they are highly addictive. And they're also stripped of most of their nutrients. If you've ever seen packaged food that says enriched with vitamin D or vitamin E or zinc, the reason for that is because those nutrients are actually taken out in the processing and have to be added back in to increase the nutritional value of those foods. The other problem with processed foods is that they tend to be quite low in fiber. We mentioned that fiber is important to increase the quality and the quantity of our good gut bugs. And so I just wanted to give you a few tips to limit the processed foods that you're incorporating in your diet. These are my top clean eating tips. The first is to eat less from a box and more from the earth. The more natural, whole foods you eat, the better for your gut and your digestive health. The second tip would be to buy organic food where possible. A lot of the foods that we consume on a regular basis are loaded with things like pesticides and herbicides and hormones. Organic food is free from all those added chemicals. And so by buying organic food, we limit the amount of those chemicals absorbed in our bodies. Now, one thing that people often say is that organic food tends to be quite expensive, and that is true. However, if you shop at farmers markets, for example, the food there generally tends to be naturally organic as well as quite cost effective. Another suggestion would be to grow your own fruit and vegetables, or even to start a community-based garden. I'd also suggest to avoid drinking sugar. Sugary beverages increase your blood sugar levels, which increases your insulin levels, leading to inflammation. And we mentioned earlier how detrimental inflammation is to our gut health. And my final tip, especially if you are struggling to reduce your sugar cravings, would be to incorporate sweet vegetables into your diet. Things like pumpkin and sweet potato and carrots can help to reduce your snacking and your cravings for sugary foods. And also they're loaded with fiber, which will help to nourish your gut. So the 5 ways that we can improve our gut health are to increase our water intake, to manage our stress levels through things like journaling or meditation, to incorporate prebiotic foods in our diet, so fruit, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds, as well as probiotic foods that come from fermented foods. Exercise. It's recommended that we exercise for 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. And the final thing that we learned today was to limit our intake of processed foods. I trust that these tips have been helpful to you and that you've enjoyed this series. And I look forward to hearing any questions or comments that you may have had on this Follow Your Gut series. Take care. Bye-bye.